Welcome back, everybody. Our busy Wednesday show rolls on. Mentioned starting today, the NCAA track regionals get underway. One in Jacksonville, the others in College Station at Texas A&M. We know North Dakota State will be well represented, as will the University of North Dakota, who had a dynamite run at the, no pun intended, at the Summit League Track Championships a couple weeks ago. We featured our next guest on our Best of the Weekend, considering what she did at the Summit League Track Championships, and she's hoping to do it again this coming weekend, starting tomorrow at the West Regional. Jadyn Keeler joins us from UND's track and cross-country team this morning. Already in College Station to get ready for, as she told me off air, for the Texas heat. So let me ask you, how hot is it so far when you guys have been down there?
It's been well in the 90 degrees, so pretty toasty.
All right, so are you one of those that like to run in the heat, or is this like, this is not great?
Not typically great for me. I don't have a great track record of races that are extremely hot, but I have been trying to prepare for this by doing some heat training to acclimate in practice. So I think I've come as prepared as I can
I was
be.
going to say, a couple weeks ago, we had about 95 in North Dakota. Were you out like running all the time then a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, definitely. I was trying to use those days to my advantage. That was pretty easy.
All right, so for normal human like myself, 5,000, 10,000 meters, no way. Why was this? You know, you do run cross country as well, but why the distance races? Did that fit you?
Honestly, I think it was just a matter of trying all the races out, and I found that the longer the distance, the better I usually performed against everyone. So I kind of realized that the 5K, 10K is my sweet spot for distance racing, and honestly, I really enjoy those events. I kind of like just hopping on the train of people and just running lap after lap. So it's fun.
Okay, I can just call you crazy because that sounds nuts to me. But so, how much of it is a mental challenge? Obviously, there's the physical one, but when you're just out there and running constantly, how much is that a mental deal?
Oh, for sure, especially the 10K.
Yeah.
I think it's just as much mental as physical because with 25 laps, it's pretty easy to get into your head at some point, and your brain typically starts to quit before your body does. So if you can stay mentally tough, that's kind of the key to the 10K.
All right, take me back a couple weeks ago in Vermilion to have that kind of performance at that time. Was that exceeded your expectations or what you expected to do to go down to the Summit League Track Championships and do the double?
I would say it met expectations. Definitely was trying to kind of have a similar result as I did indoors, completing the Triple Crown. The goal at conference meets is always for me to go out and score as many points as I can for my team, and I was able to walk away with 28 points, so I would consider that a successful weekend.
When you're in a race like this, like it's not a the short races where okay, you got to be like at 100, you got to be good to go. When do you know I'm running a good race these distance races?
Yeah, so for distance races, if you're on a personal best pace, usually you're trying to split even splits throughout the race. So in that way, you would know you're on a personal best pace. Like I know pretty much every lap I have to hit to be running my fastest time ever. But at conference, it was more about placement. Obviously you want to place first to score 10 points. So that's more about strategy and just knowing when to go. And I think just with all the track experience I have, I've been doing this for a long time. I'm able to gauge just based on how the race is going when I need to go and when's the best time to make the right moves.
UND women had their best conference meet in 6 years. You were a huge part of that. Describe of leaving Vermilion and having such a big part of UND's success.
Yeah, it means so much to me. Like seeing the trajectory of our program, like where I started as a freshman to where we are now, it's been insane to see the improvement of everyone on the team, and I'm just so glad I get to be a part of that.
All right, humble brag here. You were the track championship MVP. Where's the trophy at? What did you do with that?
It's at my apartment right now. It's on a little like coffee table in the middle.
So everybody has to see it when they come in.
I guess so, yeah. It's not that big of an apartment, so I don't know. Shelves for it.
You got to find like a man. You don't have a man. You got to get a mantle for something to put that on, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe
Uh,
next.
to now have that and now get ready for what's ahead for tomorrow and then Saturday. Obviously, the goal is to get to the NCAA championships in a couple weeks. What does it take to do that? Again, going back, is it more mental than physical for the next couple days?
Yeah, I would say it's a bit of both for sure. Obviously, to qualify, you need to be top 12 out of the 48 runners competing. So, got to be in that top quarter. But I think going in, I feel confident in my abilities based on how the season's been going to do that and to get the job done. But that's the thing. It's a matter of getting it done on the day because there's no redos. It doesn't matter what you ran the previous races. It all comes down to this one race. So you got to be prepared to that for that and ready to go.
Okay, you're ranked sixth nationally in the 10,000. So is that do you prefer that one over the five?
I would say so, yeah.
Is it what's the reason for that? Just because it's longer distance?
Yeah, pretty much. And I mean, I've actually only ran, I guess, two 10Ks now. The second one was at conference. So I don't have that much experience with it, but I just really enjoyed it. Yeah.
So is that basically the mentality for the 10K? Just all right, I'm going to go out there, see what I can do, and if hopefully it'll be fast enough to make the NCAA's.
Pretty much, yeah. I'm gonna try to stick with that front pack and just, follow them for 25 laps, and hopefully I can get in that top 12 to
Yeah.
qualify.
So each of these races are at night, which thank goodness considering where you're at. But that means a lot of sitting around time. What do you do tomorrow to not think about this for 12, 13 straight hours?
We brought some games. We brought Uno, so
There
hopefully
you
we
go.
can get
Nice.
Uno. But yeah, it's pretty much race days are pretty boring, honestly. You just have to wait around and try to distract yourself as much as possible.
Does anybody false start in this race? I know in the quick one, the quick races there. Does this ever happen in the long distance races?
Typically, no,
Yeah.
although sometimes you do get called back if like your foot's on the line or something. So I have seen it happen
Okay.
before.
You've done
That's
this. You've done the steeplechase as well, correct?
yes.
Tell us what that for again, mere mortals out there of running and then hurtling over a pit of water. Why would anybody do that?
Yeah, that one, I don't even really know how I got into that. I think back in high school, it was one of the longer events available to us because we didn't even have the 5K back in high school in Canada. So the 3K steeple was like or the 2K steeple at the time. It was one of the longer ones that I was able to do. So I kind of just decided why not hurdle as well and see how that goes.
It's a nice segue there. I appreciate that bringing up your background. How in the world did you get from Barrie, Ontario, to Grand Forks, North Dakota?
Yeah, so back in high school, after I started having some pretty good seasons, I kind of discovered the NCAA and Division One, and I always wanted to just compete at the highest level possible and challenge myself the most. And I knew that NCAA Division One was the place to do that. So I kind of started the recruiting process and was reaching out to coaches, and ultimately UND was just the place that was the best fit for me. It was a little tough at the time because it was COVID,
Yeah.
so the border was closed between the US and Canada, so I couldn't even come to visit any schools.
Wow.
So I was making my decision entirely online, just based on photos and Zoom calls. But, I had some Zoom calls with the team and they were all really nice people. So it just seemed like the best place for me all around.
So you came here sight unseen.
Yes, yeah.
Wow. So what was your first? So when did you first get to Grand Forks, and then what was your initial reaction when you got here?
So we drove to Grand Forks. I guess the first time I got there was like just a couple days before school started. My
Wow.
year. My first reaction to North Dakota was like, "Wow, it's pretty flat here." It was like way flatter than I expected. Like I honestly couldn't believe it, but the school, the campus was awesome. Like it was everything I imagined it to be. Great facilities, great coaching staff, great teammates. So UND was awesome.
Now, the obvious question growing up was hockey ever a passion of yours, or no? This has always been running has been my thing.
No, no, hockey definitely has been. Well, I was actually a figure skater for 10 years, but
Wow.
I also played hockey as well. So, and I definitely follow up with the NHL and my team back home.
What's your NHL team? Is it the Maple Leafs or somebody else?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
Toronto Maple
sorry, I
Leafs.
didn't mean to bring that up. I know that didn't
Yeah.
end. That didn't end the way you wanted on that. How much has figure skating helped in running? The endurance part of that. I have to imagine that those go hand in hand, right?
Well, I'd say figure skating, it's actually probably more of an anaerobic sport kind of.
Okay.
So, at least the practices are. So I would say in terms of like physical strength, like they're a bit different, but I would say like mental strength and stuff, I've definitely just gained a lot of attributes from that, like being a hard worker, dedication. Like
Yeah.
I learned that stuff really early on, which has helped me in my running career for sure.
This has been awesome. I really appreciate you doing this, especially the day before the race. Before I let you go, expectations for you for this weekend. Obviously, you want to keep racing to keep your career going. What do you have in mind? Like, okay, if I run, do you have a certain time that if I do this, I'm going to keep running on?
Time wise, I mean, I would obviously love to run a personal best, but tomorrow the focus is just on getting one of those top 12 spots to qualify because time doesn't really matter when it comes down to it. The race could start off a little slower, a little more tactical, so a personal best isn't always in the bag for a race like tomorrow. It's just about getting in that top 12 so I can make it to Eugene in 2 weeks.
How badly you want to be there at Tracktown?
Really badly.
Yeah.
After getting a taste of that at indoors, I really want to go to Eugene.
I really appreciate this, Jadyn. Thanks so much for this. Good luck tomorrow. Try and stay cool, and good luck, okay?
Yeah, thank you so much.
Jadyn Keeler joining us, UND track standout, 5,000 and 10,000 meter champion in the Summit League, and she's going to be racing tomorrow. And this will be something we'll be keeping our eyes on here for the next couple of days. So the West Regional gets going today. The men have competition today. The women go tomorrow. The 10,000 meters is the final event of the day. It goes at 9:10. Good reason why, considering they're running 25 laps in 90-degree heat. And then she'll be racing again in the 5,000, and that will come at 8 o'clock on Saturday night. And we'll keep you abreast of everything. Obviously, we mentioned we had Ariane Birch on the show last week, who's contending to win in the high jump. She'll compete in that. That's the final event on the women's side in the field on 3:30 on Saturday. So on top of everything else, what's going on this weekend, which we're going to elaborate in our next segment, we got this going on too. Be fun to watch. And congrats to her. That was fun to get to meet her. We'll take our next break. We come back. All right, we'll give you the lowdown. We got 6 tournaments going on. We're televising all of them. We'll break it down when Hot Mike returns on a Wednesday morning. Back after this.